Am I the a-hole for gifting my mom and her husband a book on cheating for their anniversary? I'm 16 male and I love my mom, 35, but when I was 10, she had an affair and left us. I visited her as often as I could and she always seemed so happy when I was there, but I hated her new family so I stopped visiting. Honestly, we rarely ever saw each other after just for my birthday and events really. She wants us to be close, but I want nothing to do with her new husband, so I've kept my distance. Except on February 20th. My dad announced he'd be out on business till the 12th, and my grandparents are stuck visiting relatives in Italy, and so I really had nowhere to go. And my mom jumped at a chance to have me stay with her. And just my luck that my mom's anniversary with her husband was on Sunday. I haven't had a good time here at all. So all I do is stay in my room doing homework or go out with friends to avoid family activities. Because it sucks seeing how lovey-dovey she is with her husband and how they seem like the perfect family with their daughters. But the morning before her anniversary day, she came to my bed and tried to cuddle with me like before she left us. But it made me angry. Like, we can't go back in time and pretend it's how it was. So I just pretended to be asleep and stayed curled up and frozen till she left. I started crying because of that, and I felt angry and snarky. My mom majored in literature, so I got her a copy of Anna Karenina for her anniversary. That book's about a lady who leaves her husband and son for her lover. I've never read it, but I watched the movie with my girlfriend and I hated it. The anniversary party was on Sunday. Everyone was having fun but me, and then people gave their gifts. I gave mine, and when my mom saw what it was, she seemed shocked, but just said thanks. The party ended like an hour after, but at night when she was in her room, I heard her crying really loudly. So I kinda eavesdropped a little, and heard her saying stuff about that book and me, and her husband trying to calm her. The next day at breakfast, she left for work early before I woke up, and her husband straight up called me an a-hole, and other stuff for gifting them that. It's been a few days now, and my mom has barely talked to me. Honestly, I feel so wrong I made my mom cry, but at the same time, I don't want to be here and she knows that. So, am I really the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Definitely not the a-hole. For one, Anna Karenina is a classic and a great gift. For another, if the shoe fits, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She wouldn't take it so hard or understand what you were implying if she didn't already feel that way. Not the a-hole. Your mom had to face her past horrible behavior, and your gift caused her to have to confront the fact that her affair affects you negatively to this day. Her husband needs to stay the heck out of it. If he says anything else to you, perhaps you should challenge him on it. Oh, so you'd be okay with my mom cheating on you and walking away from you and your kids for a new man? Because that's what your behavior is telling me. And from the point of view of the kid who was left, I can tell you it has affected me in a negative way ever since it happened. And your crappy attitude is the largest reason why I don't like to visit with my mom. I don't like you, never have. So keep your opinions about me to yourself. Don't let your mom's tears guilt you. Did any of your tears after she left your family ever move her to action? Follow her lead on that. That is a stone-cold gift. A+, not the a-hole. Seriously, that was amazing. I'm very curious as to what your father would have to say about this. Is there any way that you could please update us? Thank you. I'll see. I made this backup to rant about my mom, so maybe I will. Not the a-hole. My dad cheated on my mom when I was in high school and went on to marry the woman he had an affair with. It has changed my relationship with my dad forever. Especially because he tried to force the one big happy family thing with her and her kids, as soon as he sold our family home and moved in with her. Your mom does not get to force herself back into your life in her terms, the cuddles, to make herself feel better, and in the process making you feel worse. My dad did the same, and it's awful. You're not a teddy bear. She needs to recognize the lasting damage she's done and stop expecting you to fit the role she's assigned you in her head. Next story. Am I the a-hole for getting upset at the jokes that I am not family? Plus little update. I, Pam, 29 female, am 4 months pregnant with my fiancé Matt, 34 male, and my first child. His family on the whole are very welcoming and often include me, except for some comments that they make that really hurt my feelings. These comments always refer to me not being a part of the family. At our engagement party that his parents wanted to throw for us, he made a speech saying thank you to the best in-laws. And his mom made a statement in front of everyone how I shouldn't say that as we are not family yet. I would like to add that his mom has had a few phone calls with Matt's ex-girlfriend in front of me, where she would be reminding the ex that they are family. 2 days ago, the mom said that she wanted family photos, but could only do it once my baby was born as I won't be family until then. The whole family then proceeds to tell me how we must not be too sure that we are having a boy, and I'm not allowed to buy boys' clothes. They rained in our parade as we were happy with the news. We would have been thrilled either way, and feel like it is because they thought we were going to have a girl. Matt at first told me that they are joking with me, and that they wouldn't if I wasn't family when I try to talk to him about it. He has recently started to see things from my side when I pointed out that my family doesn't do this. Then today, I'm on a family group and the uncle posts this exact message. Dear family and Pam, I want to have a get-together for my birthday and was planning a day out in the countryside on Sunday. Is everyone available and Pam? I sobbed and lost it. I phoned Matt and said I'm leaving the group. Before I left, I replied, sorry, but I have family things that day, and exited. His uncle thinks that I can't take a joke. Matt supports me on this and understands why I'm hurt, but a part of me feels like maybe I overreacted. And what if I just can't take a joke? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This hurts that the unmarried ex-girlfriend is considered family. It appears that she still is, and you're not. Does Matt have children with the ex-girlfriend? They do not have any children together, but her mom and Matt's mom are best friends. He finds it awkward that she brought it up, but he never says anything. Just to add, she cheated on him and treated him like trash, and this hurts me even more that she is considered family. Sounds like your fiancé needs to have a come-to-Jesus talk with his mother about this, that she is choosing someone who cheated on her son. Like this says more about her than anything else. Not stay home. Don't invite them to any baby-related things since they're not family. Where's your husband/fiancé in all this? Why can't he have your back? So he originally said that they were joking with the original comments. That means that they think of me as family. He loves his family and I get that it is hard to realign, but he has slowly been considering it from the receiver's side. However, after what his uncle posted, he is pissed at them and said enough is enough and it isn't a joke anymore. He has apologized and is now standing firmly with me. Next time they say it's a joke, ask them to elaborate. And what part is the joke? It's only a joke if both sides are laughing. They're just being a-holes. It might be tough for your fiancé to realize his family is very toxic. Update. Matt's mom phoned to say how awful that message from his uncle was, and how she is glad I stood up for myself, which was very ironic. Matt actually took the phone call and set things, and boundaries, straight with his parents. Turns out, in the last few days, Matt's sister also told his mother that Matt's ex and her mother are not family, and stood up for me. Things are looking much brighter. Added, I wanted to say a massive thank you to you all. I'm a person who backs down easily and always wants to keep the peace. This has helped me to realize that when things are not okay, then change them. And it is okay to set things right with Matt so he can sort it with his family. All of this thinking of family has me thinking of Vin Diesel Fast and Furious memes, to be honest, and I'm having a good giggle. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not telling my daughter's father that she has cancer? I, female 24, have a 3-year-old daughter with my ex, male 27. We split up in December 2020 after I found out he cheated on me, and since then, he has been almost completely absent in my daughter's life. He has visited a grand total of 10 times, never pays for any costs at all, insults both me and her. It has made nasty posts on his Instagram calling me an ugly, cheap woman. It has made several posts calling our daughter ugly as well. Flash forward to a few weeks ago and my daughter started complaining of pain and was running a fever and had some pretty nasty bruising. I freaked out and took her to the doctor only to be told that it was a virus that would go away and that it wasn't COVID or flu. I called my ex and was trying to tell him how worried I was, but he told me he didn't care and hung up. Because of this, I cut him off and just resolved not to tell him anything else. Eventually, I took my daughter back to the doctors and begged them to do something else, Blood tests and other tests were performed, and it turns out she has B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. This is the scariest moment in my life. As I sit here writing this, my daughter is down for sedation and counts. We've been in the hospital since her diagnosis 2 weeks ago. I've cried more than I've ever cried in my entire life, and seeing her tiny body infested with this horrible disease is almost more than I can handle. Last night, I made a Facebook post about my daughter. My Facebook is private, and I'm not friends with my ex or any of his friends. I'm friends with his sister though, but we haven't talked since I broke up with him, so I pretty much forgot about it. Well, she saw the post and told him. I didn't check my phone most of today because I am so preoccupied that I don't have time. When I opened my messages today, I saw over 20 messages from my ex and his mother, calling me horrible names, telling me I should have told them, and that I'm an awful person for not telling them. He called me a cheap woman again, and told me that it was his daughter too, and he had a right to know about this. I asked if he would like to come see her, and he declined, but twisted this to his family, and now everybody's mad at me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. You already called to tell him she was ill and in the hospital. When he said, "I don't care," and hung up, what precisely were you supposed to take from that, other than his words at face value? If you feel the need to drop a clanger, I suggest a group text including him and all his family, so they all get it at once. Dear a-hole and family, I would like to give you an update on daughter's condition, but unfortunately I do not feel comfortable doing this. You see, when I originally took daughter to the hospital and was told it was a virus, I called a-hole and he told me in no uncertain terms that he did not care and hung up on me. Since then, I have taken his words for face value. Never mind the terrible names he calls myself and daughter. Given the texts I've received from everyone since then, I can see that I was correct in feeling that none of you truly care about daughter, since no one bothered to ask how she is and only proceeded to attack me. You should all be ashamed of yourself, but that's probably too highbrow for trash. From now on, unless you can be civil and helpful, don't contact me. OP. Thank you. Someone else at least pointed out the fact the man, I say this as a noun and nothing more, is abusive towards a little girl. Like, what kind of father, if he was a good one, would tell the mother he didn't care that his kid was in the ER? Especially since kids' immune systems aren't exactly stellar. And at age 3, kids like to stick random objects, trash, toys, and so forth into their mouth, so the common flu, cold, and everything else is common. Add in a pandemic, and it's not a fun time for kids. And I totally agree with the note. I'd screenshot all the texts and voicemails, some can be transcribed into text, and add them to the note. And say, this is the crap he's been sending. And I'd include previous ones prior to this showing him not caring about his kid. I just hope she'll be okay. Thankfully, it's been caught early, so she has amazing chances. Jesus, I'm so sorry this is happening. 100% not a-hole. Also, screw him right in the ear. You tried to tell him she was sick, even if you didn't know at the time it was cancer, and he blew it off. End of story. As for the rest of the family being mad at you, if you're not mad at him for calling you a cheap woman and his own daughter ugly, well, screw him. They suck and their opinions don't matter. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents, especially my dad, what happened to my brother was partly their fault because they enabled him? The problems with my brother's weight became so bad it qualified for bariatric surgery. Before the surgery, he ended up being taken to the A&E and was admitted. The doctor told him he needed to lose weight. His food intake was supposed to be controlled, but instead of losing weight, he gained nearly 4 stone, nearly 50 pounds. Turns out, my parents, especially my dad, were sneaking food to him on their visits. My brother lives with my parents, and they bring him food because he's unable to go out or make it on his own. He chooses to eat, but lately he relies on my parents for meals. My dad was even caught bringing him food he isn't supposed to have. The hospital has social workers and the authorities involved. My parents, especially my dad, are being looked at for neglect. And although my brother is an adult, they are looking at whether my brother could be classified as vulnerable due to his addiction, although he is a mentally competent adult. I'm not sure how it will go, as I don't live with them or know the law in this area. But my parents are banned for seeing my brother right now, and the hospital is trying again with some weight loss prior to surgery. My brother needs round-the-clock care, so he's still in the hospital. His weight last I heard is 40 stone 10, 570 pounds. I'm not sure now as the hospital isn't giving my parents updates. When my dad wouldn't stop calling me angry and upset over it, and saying the authorities are out of line and trying to get me to help fund a legal challenge, I told him he shouldn't have brought food to my brother. My mom is furious that I upset him, and says my brother didn't like the food they were giving him, and that dad was just doing what he thought was best. Should I have not said anything about my dad enabling or been honest with him? My mom says I crossed a line because I'm not a carer for him, and it's the crux of the arguments I've had with her. Not stay home. Your parents are literally killing your brother. Hopping on top comment to say, if the brother isn't completely dedicated to weight loss, bariatric surgery isn't going to help him long term. I'm on a waiting list for it myself, so I'm researching it as much as possible. You can still eat terribly if you want to with high-calorie lighter foods. You're just initially forced to eat smaller amounts. If you want to stretch your stomach out again, you can, but not following doctor's instructions. OP, you used stone. Are you in the UK like I am? There's years-long waiting lists for it on the NHS if so, and usually you have to lose 5 to 10% of your body weight and keep it off to prove you're committed. The surgery is just a tool. It doesn't do the work for you. He has to want to use it. Please consider talking to him gently and make sure he wants this. If he doesn't, it's not going to work. Not today, Hull, and you were right. Your folks are enabling him. But unless he wants to live differently, this isn't going to help him. Good luck, OB. Not stay home. It is partly their fault. Not entirely, but partly. If they deny it, they're delusional. Until he got into hospital, the nanny gains were 100% their fault because they were circumventing the system with a person who they knew would be vulnerable and eats what they brought. Not stay home. They're causing harm to your brother and should be cut off. If they were good parents, he wouldn't be morbidly overweight. They are killing him with misplaced care. Not stay home. To be fair to my parents, my brother was nearly 29 stone when he went to live with them again. Prior to that, he lived on his own and was already obese. My parents, especially my dad, enabled him at his problems, but they were there when he was on his own already. Your parents are sour, they're facing consequences for disobeying a hospital's rules, and expect you to participate in the same fantasy that what they're doing is best for your brother. Your parents are delusional.